So hello everyone, we're here with Louis Santos podcast, and that's my first podcast with a very special person here, Nico.
Hey everyone.
It's my man Nico there. He's been my client for a while. First time I saw Nico, we just clicked, didn't we, Nico?
House on fire. The consultation lasted, was it about an hour and a half?
An hour and a half?
Yeah, I think my partner thought I was getting tattooed. It was supposed to be like 20 minutes, and we were just talking, and then they were like, "Are you being tattooed?" And I was like, "No, we're just having a conversation." And from then, like, our day sessions just fly.
An hour and a half? I thought it was longer, actually. I thought it was longer, but...
It might have been 2 hours and a bit, to be fair.
I think it was longer.
Don't
That's
put
why...
us together in a room, because nothing will get done, honestly.
I'm sorry if the podcast goes on for too long, but that's the way we are. We talk a bit too much.
It'll be a good one, though, so stay tuned, because, honestly, you won't want to miss out on this.
Exactly. So let's start from the beginning then. Like, you came in for a tattoo, then... Like, what was the... Of course, I feel like everyone comes to the studio with a reason why they get tattooed, and like with a personal reason as well. And I felt like your reason was very personal and it was very interesting as well. So that's why it's not in vain that I asked you to be here, because I feel like the purpose of your tattoo, it was so interesting. And I was like... And I like when the request of the client, it kind of shakes me as well a bit.
Yeah.
And I think that's like so cool, because it makes you want to do it with more pleasure, with more heart, and of course, if you have a connection with your client as well, it really helps. It like makes the day flows well. You kind of look forward for your client. Yeah. So I would like to just like for you to tell people why you got tattooed, and like why you approached me, really. Why you approached me? Yeah.
I'll start from the beginning. So basically, I was very fortunate because I'm originally from London, and I moved more and more up north over my years just for career. And luckily, my partner is a client of Louis, and I saw her work, and I was like, oh, who's been doing your like cover up and stuff like that? Because I've got something that needs to be covered, and I obviously want a good tattooist, because good tattooists are hard to find. Like, don't get me wrong, there's so many out there, but there's so many different styles, and some people will say you need to have laser first, some people will say we can't do it, and obviously you're looking for a competitive price as well, because at the end of the day, we want a good product at the same time as a good price. So basically, she recommended Louis and said, go check out his Instagram, go see what he's about. And I started looking at his work, and I'm obsessed with like lions and stuff like that. And he had a lot on his page, and I thought, he's really good at realism. Like, he's really good at bringing the lion to life, and the way he places it on your body as well. I like that. He's not just sticking a tattoo on your skin and doing it. He's actually an artist, so Louis can actually draw, which is one of the key kind of things that a tattooist should be able to do. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go in and see him, because that's the best way, face to face. I can tell him my ideas, because they were very personal to me, and see what he can do. So for me, the reason why I went to Louis is because I was actually born female. And I've transitioned, and now I am obviously male, and I've been transitioning for the past 6 years. And basically, I paid to have my mastectomy done with nipple grafts, and basically that means that I've been left with quite large scars that run from the center of my chest all the way along to here, and that causes me quite a bit of dysphoria at points, because naturally as a man you take off your top a lot when you go on holiday. You take it off, if you go and like just at a beach, go swimming, and people do stare. They
simple things they take for granted.
Yeah, simple things, because I was a prisoner for a long time. I had to go on holiday. I had to always wear a binder. I was always in compression vest. I would always wear a big coat in the summer, or wear like a body warmer. I was really conscious about my chest area, and I wouldn't show it. So when I actually got them removed, I was super happy, but then I was like, oh man, now I've got scars. And everyone keeps asking me, like, what's happened? And it's like, do I say I got attacked by a shark? do I say, I've
make something up?
Yeah, heart surgery or something, what? But I don't like to lie, because I'm very open and honest about being transgender. So I was like, you know what? I want to get it tattooed, and you have to wait over a year and a half to let the scars really heal before you can obviously tattoo them. And obviously I've got a tattoo on my chest at the moment that I wanted covered, and I have another one here as well that I wanted covered, because when I got them, I was a different person. I was female. The tattoos were quite feminine to me at the time, and they didn't mean what they mean now. Like I every time I looked at them, I just thought that reminds me of a time that I wasn't myself. So it didn't make me very happy. So when I came to Louis, I knew he could do cover-ups because he had done my partner's sister, and I was like, this is going to be my guy. So when I came in, took off my top, and I don't think Louis probably saw my scars, but I don't. What did you think? Did you even clock them, like my scars?
I think when you took your top off, I knew about your transition.
Yeah.
So I clicked it.
Yeah.
But we must mention about when I found out about your transition.
Yeah, that was before I took my top off, obviously. So we'll get to that.
Of course, I met Nico, and then he came in. We were just talking, and he mentioned to me that he used to be a girl. However, I didn't click it. I just carried on speaking to him because I wasn't expecting it. It just went through my head. I was just like, yeah, let's just carry on talking to him.
Yeah.
And then he said it for the second time, and I carried on speaking to him just like it was normal. And that voice was in the back of my head, like I used to be a girl. It just became clearer and clearer and clearer. And when I realized, I was like, "Whoa, you used to be a girl."
He was like, "Whoa!" And I was just like, "Yeah, seriously." Like, and then he was like, I wouldn't have known. And I said, yeah, I'm very fortunate, I passed very well, but
I was very surprised with the science, behind it, because it's possible nowadays. I'm so happy for people who they can really be who they are. In science, they just allow you to do that. You have the opportunity to be who you really are. And I think as well, what I learned with you is like you really went for who you felt like you were inside of you. You were not scared to be who you felt like you were. And I think that's a very powerful thing, because we always know the truth inside of us.
Yeah. This is it. Like, not all transgender people have had the journey that I've had. I've been very lucky because I have a really supportive family, really good friends. I've got a brilliant tattoo artist who I'm comfortable showing my body to, and that's really important because for a lot of trans people, actually telling someone that you are trans is a massive thing. Because a lot of people are stealth and they don't want people to know. And for us, it's a fair every day. It's a fair of using toilets. It's a fair of going into a shop and getting your hair cut. It's a fair of walking into a tattoo shop and men being in here and other people and clients and having to actually come in and go, oh, I need this covered, and then it's like, well, why have you got that like that? And you're like, oh, and everyone's looking at you, because people do stare when you're in a tattoo shop. Everyone looks at each other, because everyone's listening as well, because it's a very intimate space, But
last time you came here, I think there was a guy here, and I don't think he even knew.
No,
that used to be,
no
idea, and we didn't mention about it. And
we just didn't happen to talk about it because we had spoken about it a lot prior. But there was just no inkling, But then even when the next time I came, the guy didn't know either, because we were just talking about different things, and that's nice because it's not always something we talk about, but we enjoy speaking about it. Because Louis likes to learn more about it, because by learning more about me, it helps him with other clients and other people, because you never know. Even someone watching this video, you never know who then might step forward and go, oh, you know what? That's a safe space. I can actually go in there and you will feel safe here. You won't feel uncomfortable. Louis doesn't pry into your surgeries or anything. He lets you open up and talk to him about what you want to talk about.
Yeah, I even say to people, like, us tattoo artists, we are there to work for you, to get around you, to get to know who you are and your requests, and everyone is so different. So I'm just like water next to my clients. I just mirror with them, and I don't really every case is a case. And I think when you really get on with your client and you really understand their request and you just make them feel comfortable for who they are, is the best thing ever, because then you look forward to see them, they look forward to see you. And that's why that was one of the reasons why I asked you to come here to tell about your story, because I think it's such a cool story. And it's I'm 40 now, and I'm still learning how to listen to my inner self. I think we all are. But Nico, you are what? You are 20, 34.
Yes.
And look at him. He went for who he knew, who he was inside, and he went for it, and he's doing a great job out of it. And it's just amazing to have that what it really impressed me about you is that certainty that you have.
Oh yeah,
it's like,
I think I was very fortunate to have like a good mother who upbring me, and my dad, who kind of installed good things into me, in the sense of, you know, you should love yourself, you should be proud of who you are. Even when I was a girl, I was lesbian. I liked women. I've always liked women my whole life. I knew from about 11 years old that women were what I was interested in. I've never been with a guy. I love them as friends, but I'm not attracted to them, you know. And my mum was like, you can tell me whatever. I do not care who you love. I do not care what you do, as long as you are happy. You're not hurting anybody. Couldn't care less what the world thinks. She let me wear boys' clothes. She bought me like boys' stuff. She let me be like my brothers and my cousins running around, and she let me be me because she thought it was a phase. To be fair, like most parents do, they don't know what's going on with you. You know, you're growing up. So if you want to play football, play football. If you want to do that, do that. It's absolutely fine. And because she let me do that, I became very confident, so it wasn't a scary thing for me to tell Louis or tell anyone, hey, I'm born female, hey, I used to be. I'm very proud of it, because it shouldn't be something that anybody should ever be ashamed of. You know?
So do you think your parents' way of behaving towards it and how they treated it with you, do you think that helped you with your confidence?
Oh, massively. I think that your upbringing is a lot of who you are when you become later on in life, because all those things that your parents kind of installed into you and all the little things that they said, you kind of carry that with you, and then you kind of adapt. You take bits that you like, and then you take bits that you don't, because, you know, parents are parents, and you find your way and you find what fits
your own
for
way
you.
of doing it.
But I always remember the things my mum would say to me. You know, she's like, hey, I'm not going to tell you not to try, you know, drugs or smoke or whatever, because you can go and do that behind my back anyway. But what I'm going to do is tell you about the reasons why you shouldn't.
Why you shouldn't do it? Yeah.
Same thing with sex. We could luckily speak to my mum about sex. We could speak to her about anything, and she would always say to us, I'm going to explain to you the dangers, I'm going to say why you got to do this way, but at the end of the day, I can't stop you. I'm not going to lock you up in your room and make you miserable, you know. She's like, actually, I want to create a safe space where you can sit down and you can tell me how you feel. And I think because of that, I then was able to teach my friends that. I then kind of was that friend that everyone gravitated around. Everyone would come to my mum's house, and everyone could talk to my mum about things that maybe they couldn't talk to their own parents about. And stuff. So cool. We had a really good connection and upbringing in that sense.
Yeah, to be honest with you, sometimes I don't get when parents, they're like, I want my kids to do that, I want my kids to do that. Like, they don't know that their kids, they have to do what they want. My daughter loves music. However, if my daughter came to me and said, look, Dad, I want to bake cakes, and I'm happy doing that, I'm like, go and do it. If you want to go and bake cakes. I think you need to do really good cakes to make money, but you cannot tell your kids what to do. You have to, like, know that, okay, you made them, you put them here. However, everyone has a freedom to do what they want, you know. Yes, and even me being from Brazil and wanting to be a tattoo artist, my family at first, they were like, whoa, you're crazy.
It's a frowned upon thing.
They thought I was going to be a criminal. This criminal, I was going to be with prisoners, involved with prisoners, with drugs and stuff like that.
There's such a stigma.
However, you know, tattooing changed, the tattoo world changed, and my family kind of gets it now. But back in, when I wanted to be a tattooist, must have been around 2000, 2001. Which back then, it was not what it is now. And I began tattooing in 2006. And even I remember my mom saying, like, are you sure that you want to do this?
But she was being good because she just cares. And that's
yeah.
She knew she couldn't stop you, because if you want to do something, you're going to do it.
But obviously, once she knew I could make a living of it, she was okay. She thought I'd be just like a homeless person.
I remember you done the most scariest thing. You came from a different country and you came here and you literally couldn't speak a word of English, and you had to start from scratch.
In my family, they expected me to be like a doctor, dentist. Like, they expect me to be the pride of the family. Like, but I just listened to myself. You know, I knew that even if I was poor and if I was doing that, I would be happy.
This is the thing. Like, sometimes